afternoon. How are we doing? Not economically. How are we doing? I would want to know someone here. And so if I point to you, you tell me who you are. Randomly, I would pick from some source. Okay, a white gentleman. You. Yeah, you. Who are you? I barely hear you. The name, who are you? Okay. You. Who are you? The gentleman. Okay. And you? All right, excellent. You see, because the conversation started with a first name, he began his with a second name, or probably a third name. But ideally, that's not who you are. He also mentioned a profession, and majority of the time we mistake these things. We are looking at entrepreneurship because it is key for our continent, but ideally it's recognizable that we as people should find what we are, what we represent, and then we can go in turn to build Africa. Who agrees with me? If I don't know who I am, then I don't think I have any headway to what I want to be. And so we are going to find out who we are. Who has a pen and a paper? If you came in here without one, I beg you, you have to borrow. And so, first slide. You have to wait. Finding the person called me is an empty booklet, which I hold here. I treat that with clients, and today I would want to share with you. It's quite an expensive thing to do, so if you're doing this now, I want you to take it very seriously. A lot of people, I asked, who are you? Then you mention your name, my name is blah, blah, blah. Okay, my name is Akosia Alexandra Obenewa Opukwajiman Ado Zambai. That's my name, but that does not define who I am. There are a few questions I want you to ask yourself. Who are you? You're a Muslim. We have Muslims here, right? We have Christians here. And everything you want to achieve in life should be achieved through telling the truth. In all the conversations that has gone on here, it boils down to the fact that our leaders are not probably being honest with us, or those who led us through the journey of becoming the continent we are, they didn't really say the honest things to us. And to find who you are, you have to be able to tell the truth. So as a Christian, what John 4:24 says is, God is spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in what? The Quran says the same thing though. And so does other religion also do. If you are not honest with yourself, please don't start the exercise we're about to do. Next one. The first question, which is helping you find your worth. A lot of people are here that do not know where they are going, do not know what they even stand for. I want you to ask yourself these questions from today, even before you think of entrepreneurship, because entrepreneurship might not be for you. Not because we are all saying entrepreneurship is cool and Africa has to change and blah, 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 blah. You also have to go and find something to do as an entrepreneur. Find who you are first, and then you can tell whether entrepreneurship is meant for you or is not meant for you. So the first question is, who do you say you are? Write that down. I'm not going to answer that for you. And so if someone is answering it on their book, please ignore. It's not your case. Mind yours and write yours. Who are you? Or who do you say you are? The second question says, who are you being? Being is a present continuous tense. So it's not about, okay, my name is blah, 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 and then it ends there. What is the continuous thing that you are doing that is becoming you? I'm a CEO of a company. I have about 4 subsidiaries under my company. But that is not me, because I have not built my company around my personality. People wonder who is behind my company, and I love that, because if they realize I'm the one, then there's disaster. One day if I'm not around, quote unquote, the business dies. And that I don't want to experience. In the process of finding your worth, what do you want to be recognized for or respected for when you are no more here? People start businesses, and then when I meet my clients, I ask you, what's your exit strategy? A lot of African businesses begin without thinking of an exit strategy. And that is a disaster to why businesses are failing. Because when you know that the possibility of your business falling is there, then you prepare for failure. So that when failure comes, you can meet it March to March. Am I speaking with someone? Okay, so we move on to knowing our core values as individuals, as persons, as personalities. What is something you believe in and is willing to take a stand for, regardless of what people say or think? This ideally your core value. Someone will say, oh, they've said all these beautiful things, we can do this, we can do that, and yet you don't know your core value. I knew my core value at the age of 12. I'm fortunate. Some of you are not. And some wouldn't even find it today until after maybe 2 years or 3 years. I don't want your case to be that. And so, I would want you to answer these questions, speaking directly from your heart. At a point, you might have to cry because you might have failed. It's okay to fail. I wouldn't want to lash you at the back and say that, hey, you failed at this, so you cannot do any other thing. And so, answer it yourself. Don't go and ask your friends, because it might give you the wrong impression of who you are. Listen to what they say. There are times that you hear people say, this thing you did didn't go well with me at all. And so you can use that to judge whether you are doing the right things or you're not doing the right things. Next page. Who believes that we all have strength? What about weaknesses? Who here knows about their own strength? I'm not going to ask you to share your strength. What about your weaknesses? Who believes that in our weaknesses sometimes we find our strength? And then in our strength sometimes we find our weaknesses. Okay, so I'll need you to write these things down. What activities come naturally to you? Ideally, when you're looking out to get your strength working for you, well, I remember when I was a child, I lived in the barracks all my life, so I'm a barracks girl. Rather unfortunate, but I don't even come across as one. I would gather the kids and start emceeing. Miss Ghana this, Miss Malaika that, Miss whatever this, and all that stuff. But eventually, I realized that it was actually something meant for me. And so my company that I have now is into event management and organization. I didn't go away from what I was already practicing as a child. I continued. And so you know that thing within you that comes naturally to you. You don't have to stress. You know, I paint as well. It comes naturally to me, but maybe I've not tapped into it. I'm yet to. I just take it as a hobby. But you know that thing that touches your heart that you do without stress, without having to be told what to do. Can someone share what they do naturally without having to be told with us? Okay. You can say. You can say. Okay. Have you thought of that thing developing funds into your pocket? Are you doing something about it? Okay. Where? You're doing it, you're on it, and then you're strategizing, planning. Yeah, sometimes it's not easy to plan, but then, hey, with the help of family, friends, you're able to plan. It's not necessarily that you have to go and share your ideas with them. Sometimes you can throw it and present it as though it's someone else who owns the idea, and then you want to see what they would have done, and then you can implement those things into the things that you want to achieve. The next slide, please. Our weaknesses. If you can see here, there are 2 babies. It's unfortunate I had to use white babies, but it has nothing to do with the continent we are on. I want us to think away from a box. What if there was no box? What would we do? Should we always be thinking from the box? So today we are thinking away from the box. Within our weaknesses, sometimes we find our strength. Some people find it so difficult to accept that, oh, I failed at this, or I'm weak at this. And so when they fall down, or when they try and it's not working, they lose faith. As a Christian, as a believer, one thing that we've been taught to understand is that failure will come. Things will happen. And in the process of things happening, we should be able to stand up and move on. It is the ability to proceed with what you've already acquired that you're able to succeed. Right? Here it says, which activities do you hesitate doing? Makes you uncomfortable or just dread it? I remember back in secondary school, even though I was good with speaking and all that stuff, I had a situation before final year exams where I had typhoid fever type 4. I had malaria plus, and it shot my temperature up, and I had high fever, where I lost my memory, and I lost a whole lot of things, a number of things as a person. Because I'm good with acting, friends assumed that I was acting. I ended up being a psychiatric patient, and when I came out, the stigma was terrible. Finding myself to know that, okay, because I've gone through this situation or that situation, I should be able to get strong and encourage other people not to go through it, but actually accept what it is. It took grace for me to understand. But when I decided to accept my weakness, I found it interesting to know that I'm actually a mental health advocate now, working with over 5 hospitals on mental health cases, and I'm currently studying something related to psychology that has to do with mental health. Had it been that when I found out that I had gone through that and the stigma was getting to me and I shut myself up in a room, I doubt if I'll be standing on this stage. And well, I think I met about 4 people who said they follow me on Instagram and Facebook. I think MC Koli said the same thing, which is surprising. But if I wasn't doing the things I was doing, if I didn't put myself together out of my weaknesses, I wouldn't be here. So I'm encouraging you, whatever that weakness is, it's ideal. Just write it. You have no idea what that weakness can do for you. So in that weakness, try and find that strength. You can actually encourage somebody without knowing you're encouraging someone. To the next slide. Every now and then we see the coat of arms of Ghana. Freedom and justice. Who can help me understand what freedom means? What's freedom? We're having a conversation. It's not like I'm pouring what is in my head entirely and then you share nothing. What is freedom? I might have to pick randomly for someone to share what freedom means. Okay, sorry for those I know and their names. Mr. Emmanuel, second Emmanuel. What is freedom? Should it always be the right thing when you are at liberty to do something? Sometimes it might be the negative things. But every individual has freedoms. And amidst our freedoms, we should be particular. Because whatever we are doing with this test is supposed to be what? The truth. And so if your truth that you are saying is not doing good to society or humanity, then you have to cut it. In here it says, what are some things you enjoy doing or daydream about? Things that bring you total satisfaction and makes you feel free. If it's 20 things listed down, you will need it as we go along. It is freedom because it gives you what? Satisfaction. It gives you some inner peace for you to realize that, dear way, dear my yepa, or this thing I've really achieved it, I've done it. If I had not done it, maybe I wouldn't feel cool, I wouldn't feel this and now that. And so it's okay, list them. If it's 1, write, 2, 3, 4, write it down. Sir? Everyone here has a concern. Do we believe that? Do we? I can't hear those saying yeah. Say it and let me know that we are all here. My concern as at 12 or as at 13, 14, 15, 16 had nothing to do with mental health. But I knew that there was a problem when I saw people with clients. We don't call them mad people. And from today, I think you have to change that mentality of calling them mad people. We are all mad unless you don't know. Like, everyone in this room is mad, one way or the other, because the mad person you assume walking out there sees you as mad because you're wearing clothes, you're doing the right things, you're doing the normal things that people are doing. And in their world, you are mad. So please, henceforth, before you even think and say, that I saw that mad person at the junction, think about yourself first, because you might be the first. I never knew I had that concern about these people. But when I did this test and I reflected, I knew that whenever I saw someone who was mentally not sound and perhaps was lying by the road or been chasing people here and there. There was this person at Takrady growing up. When he meets you in the market, he said, Miribe boom. For those who understand tree, say Miribe boom. The moment you hear Miribe boom, you have to find somewhere and stand because he's about to slap you. He's informing you before he slaps you. And everybody thought that that guy could not be helped, or probably he was pretending or one thing or the other. At that age, I was about 8 years. I think I knew what it meant to see him in that situation where he cannot help himself. But I didn't know what to do about it. And so as you sit here, I want you to realize that there's something within you that pulls out a concern. It might not be channeled at X or B or something that relates to me. Mine might be mental case. Mine might be that I'm helping people become better or helping people find who they are. Yours could be different from what I am doing. But irrespective, there's that little thing within you that strikes and say, oh, that's a problem. And then when Chidi was talking, he mentioned the fact that there's always a problem to be solved. We talk about Africa and everybody is shaking and saying, hey, Africa, we are poor and we are not. There are a lot of problems to be solved. Yet we do little or nothing about it. We are assuming that because we are poor, someone needs to help us, which is a dead syndrome. We should take it out of our system. Because for anything to occur or for change to happen, we should have that mentality of knowing that there's a concern. And then from the concern, you can work towards it to make it better. So if you have those concerns, if you have things that bother you, things you see, those you don't see, those you feel. Yeah, someone is packaging air to sell. It's true. The person saw the need that air can be packaged, and the person is selling it. What is that concern that you have? I want you to write it in your book. Then failures. Failures occur most times and people just drown themselves. So what do you people see? Or what do people see or say? That causes, what do you say or do that causes people pain or concern? This is typically your failures. So for example, you were expecting to make some money from a deal and it's not coming. And the deal is about to go off your slate as a business person, and you believe that you're failing. Sometimes just sitting down and rethinking, asking yourself, in worst case scenario, what can happen? That minute of you relaxing might make you realize that, okay, well, if this business goes away, I can actually repackage it and give it to another person and make a better deal out of it. But because you are panicking and you feel that you are failing, you don't want to push and do anything at all, then you relax. I don't need you or I to be like that, so you have to write down your failures in life. And the next, everybody here has an assignment in life. What do you see happening in this world that grieves your heart and makes you want to cry? It might sound weird that it does not occur that you see something that it makes you want to cry. But irrespective, if you search down, deep down, your heart, your mind, you know there are a lot of things around you Those that you feel that, okay, this is the time for me to work at, but maybe you don't have the resources, you don't have the things that will make you do it or achieve it. I want you to write these things down because they help you in planning your life as an individual. Next slide. Then around us are opportunities. I know some people are here because friends invited them. Others surfed the internet and they saw activities happening during this month, registered, and they are here. Irrespective of wherever you find yourself, in class, in work, you might be working for someone, it doesn't matter. You might be helping them build a business. You said there are partnerships that we have to form. We are here because we have to network. There are opportunities around us. If someone is sitting by you and you haven't taken the phone number yet, then you're losing an opportunity of actually conversing to arrive at whatever plan or idea you have in your head that you want to implement. And so, opportunities come our way. What things do you see around you that you want to fix or correct or solve? And those things cannot be solved only by you. The key point in what we are doing today is to be able to know your worth as described by your Creator, right? And your faith. Your strength as to what your Creator has placed within you. Knowing your weakness so that your Creator can be glorified. Because without knowing your weaknesses, then you cannot be able to succeed. If I keep doing X thing and it's failing me or it's killing me and I don't even know that that's what is killing me, then I would end up dying. So ideally, it's not good to do it. How are these things applicable to your life? You have to assess yourself. How can I tell if what I am hearing is really right? There are words that have gone through the whole conversation that you realize that it's consistent. Party A says it's, B says it's, C says it's, and you realize that it's been consistent. Then it means that there's something right that you have to do. Planning. Everybody keeps saying planning. It's not because it's fun to write plan, but it's because you have to put it on paper to be able to achieve. Without striking on the drawing board, you cannot be able to follow suit and know what's supposed to happen. And here is my MC trying to sack me on stage, but I'm not going to go anytime soon because she's wasted much of my time. And I would want to finish up with this whole thing. So give me just like a minute. I'll be done shortly. Okay, thank you very much. And then we come to, am I making the right choices? Sometimes it's okay that you might feel you're not making the right choices, but when you're not, ask friends. Just like I said, you can present your things in certain ways to friends for them not to get your entire idea or what you want to be or who you want to be. Then you can find out whether the things you are doing are actually right. There are things that we might do and we feel that it's okay, but when you assess it by what the standard is, it's actually not okay. But sometimes, even though it's not okay, it is fine because you have to be the pace setter. But it has to be the truth in your faith, right? Okay, and we go to how can I make all this applicable but to my situation? Currently, some people are in school, some are already working, some are actually thinking of what next with life after their masters because they are not even doing anything at all. In your current situation, if you find out all these things about you, then you can say that, okay, I think I want to actually pursue that master's degree I have to pursue. I have to even leave Ghana, or I probably have to go and work under somebody. And every entrepreneur you see might have learned from one person or the other, whether physically or by just visualizing. So ideally, it's okay for every individual to find someone to mentor them. The next one says, how can I know for certain that this is what my Creator asks or has brought me on earth to do? If it is consistent, if it worries you in your sleep, then please, you should know there's a wake-up call for you to do something about it. When I had the idea to start my business, it was difficult because I was in secondary school. I didn't know what to do from my left to right. Every day I face one challenge. I have dreams that I'm supposed to do A or B or C, and it was hunting me through it all. And here I was trying to convince an African parent who didn't believe in entrepreneurship. And so what she will say is, instead of you writing all these things on paper, and I dreamt about this, and I dreamt I was going to talk to people here, and I was going to do this, why don't you just focus on your books? But I challenged her, and today she believes that what I challenged her to was the best thing, and she's now an entrepreneur, even though she worked in the public service. So you should be able to position yourself in a certain way to realize that even though sometimes it's okay that you're not the pace setter, when it's time for you to be the pace setter, it's okay. Go ahead and be the pace setter. The assurances to everything that we do. I won't stand here and tell you I have $1 million in my account, and then when you come to me as an entrepreneur with a beautiful idea, I'll give you $1. I won't do that. The same applies to our faith. There are things that when we're able to do right, we achieve. There's nothing that you don't get if you are not consistent. If this is what you want to achieve, if you want to create a well, and you keep pouring water here, it will eventually turn into what you want it to be. So with everything that you want to do, be assured that it can actually work. If you don't have faith in it, please don't start. Please do not even start. It says, when opportunities or situations come your way, ask yourself these questions. Does this play into my strength or my weaknesses? Will my Creator be glorified when it's accomplished? Will it accomplish my purpose on earth? Will it serve the kingdom and humanity? So if you know you want to start importing things from China to Ghana, and you know the product is not good, and it's going to damage people's lungs and whatsoever, and then you still find a very beautiful way and bring it into the country, or you want to do something that is actually not the norm in society, and it's going to kill people, then I beg you, you have to stop it. There's no assurance in that. But if you know it's going to change people's lives, it's going to transform ideas into solutions, and then before you realize Africa is becoming better, then I beg you, you have to go ahead and do it. Next slide. I'll still go back to Chidi because he almost spoke about everything I wanted to talk about. Celebrations of today. If you are winning, you should celebrate. And the same way you celebrate when you're winning, when you fail, you should acknowledge that you're failing. That's the only way you can become successful. If I tried A or B or C and it's not working, it does not mean it cannot work better. So it's okay, write it somewhere to celebrate the things that come your way, the very good ones, the bad ones. Even from your infancy, somebody got an award from KG. Till date, they celebrate it because it was significant for them. Maybe when the school even started, for years, nobody had gotten that achievement, and you got it. It's okay, celebrate it. Within your celebrations, I want you to list these things. Legacy, number 1. Number 2, professional and mental health. Social and recreation. Career and finances. Time management. Health and fitness. Family and relations. Spirituality and faith. These are the basic things we need to become entrepreneurs or to be able to build Africa. If you are not good with these areas, then I'm sorry, Africa will be where it is. We might have spoken about all the sustainabilities and blah, 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 but if you haven't changed your mentality about some of these things, forget it. Being time conscious, being able to keep relationships the way they are supposed to be, family, friends, businesses, your academics, your spirituality, your health. If you are not strong, how do you build Africa? You can't. If you don't start taking things out of your mind and say, okay, and yes, it will be like that. This one, when you take it to the ministries, they won't mind you. Try. I started my NGO in 2012. I've been sending proposals upon proposals to the Ministry of Education from 2012. I still don't get any response. And I have been going. I'm not stopping anytime soon. I'll keep going until I achieve what I want to achieve. So please keep trying. Your 20-year conversation. Everybody is talking about Africa in the next 5, 10, 20, 15, well, how many years? Do you have a conversation for your 20 years? Do you even know what you want to see by the next 5 years as an individual? Do you? I want you to write somewhere in your book, your 20-year plan. Within the areas that we listed, your legacy, your spirituality, how you want to see your life in that area in the next 20 years, and start working towards it. Because if you don't work towards it the right way, we can't achieve the Africa that we want. Next slide. And describe in detail what success will be like in those areas for you, and what failures will be like in the areas that we've already listed. The next slide. In everything that we do, there are reasons, and then the questions that we should ask, the whys. Why should I be the one solving this problem? Why should I be the leader doing this or whatsoever? It should be you, because if someone else does it, maybe it will not be achieved the way you want to see it achieved. And so if I am already doing it, does not mean you cannot do it too. I'd have to run through the list, but eventually if you want to see me later and then talk about the next slide and the next and the next, it's about 25 or 26 slides. You can actually see me when I'm done doing my presentation, and I'll give you the rest. And then for changes of tomorrow, it still goes back to your, we'll go through it, the very last page. I want to leave you with this in mind. Kindly help me read it out. Abuse is inevitable. Do you believe that? Where you don't have a purpose, no matter what it is, you abuse the opportunities, the concerns, the finances, your spiritual life, and whatsoever that it is that you have to achieve. So please, before you leave here, remember that you have to always remain purposeful. Thank you very much.
A round of applause for her, please.